And sure, it was people who was like, you know, what is she doing? Like, what is this? What YouTube? And now you want to take this career? These are the same people who asking me, oh my God, girl, how can I ask you a question? I'm trying to start a blog. So, hey, girl. Hey, it's Morgan from ItsHeyMorgan, and you are watching 22 with No Clue.
Yeah. I'm an orator, oracle, my orifice orchestrates movements like conductors of orchestras. Every verse an emporium of orchids and the new blooming of roses, holding my tongue at this point.
Fine. So Morgan, what is your perspective on being 22 with no clue?
Well, I'm not 22. No,
genuinely.
I can't answer this a lot.
I'm curious on how you plan on answering it given you're 21. So maybe you can give your perspective on being 21 with no clue, maybe.
Okay. Let me think about this.
Cause you kind of have a clue.
I have a clue.
I think it'll hit when you graduate. So we'll close at that. Tell me a bit about your background, your family, and what brought you to the East Coast.
Yeah, so I am originally from Chicago. We both are. From Chicago, yes. And how I got here over to the East Coast is actually school. I'm finishing my last year at Penn in Philadelphia.
So what is the story of ItsHeyMorgan and how did it begin? When did you start shooting?
Yes.
Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, for sure. So I've always had this love and passion for social media. Okay. This whole thing of social media that this quick access and this instant connections and interactions you can have on this digital space. It was fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to learn all about it. Over time, on my first little platform I had, no, it wasn't even like a brand. I wouldn't even call that a platform. It was just Morgan on social media. It was a page. Slowly over time, my page started to pick up a little bit where I wasn't receiving comments and likes just from my family and friends anymore. Like my friends and my grandmother anymore. It was more so people from different cities and different states and even countries, almost demanding me to take my brand, whatever that was at that time, to a larger platform. And then fast forward to 2013 is when I did a little bit of research, had some soul searching, and ItsHeyMorgan was born.
At what age did you begin shooting yourself in front of a camera?
Previous to YouTube, I have a background in theater and speech. Okay. So public speaking, talking, was not an issue for me, at all. And then when you add in theater, the performance aspect, being on a stage, being recorded, having cameras around you, lights, it wasn't unfamiliar. So even though my previous background of theater and speech, I wasn't necessarily setting up a camera every day and practicing, but I had that performance aspect already in me, which is really what we're doing. We are staging an area and we are performing in front of a camera to to give it to an audience.
What was your source of inspiration for creating ItsHeyMorgan?
I found people that I liked and I was like, okay, this is cool, but I just watched them for enjoyment. And then...
And what age was this?
I had to be 17?
Wow.
Maybe?
Okay.
That's right? My math right?
I believe so.
What's cool?
I can't count.
I do that all the time. I can't even do mental math and you go to...
Yeah, I cannot count.
Then I started paying more attention and saying in this space in 5 years, it's going to be massive. I'm an entrepreneur and I really wanted to be able to have a space where Morgan can work for Morgan. Morgan can build what she wants to build. And YouTube was the perfect opportunity to do that. And it clicked.
And you identified this at 17?
Yeah, I was. I mean, if you told somebody in 2013, hey, I make videos for a living, it's kind of what? I mean, even now, it is still pretty what would you say? Mm-hmm. I did have a unique opportunity to get in when I got in.
Nice.
And then continued it, and now have a pretty successful career with it.
Nice. Did you have any outside resources that guided you in the direction of doing that, or was it genuinely you sitting and connecting those dots alone?
It was nothing for me to sit there and connect these dots and say, okay, 1 + 1 = 2, girl. Exactly. Get on it, do it. And already since I had this background of just performing, I said, when you get in front of a camera, you are performing. It was this was second nature. It was almost too good to be true. I'm wait a minute, you telling me this can be my job? This could be my career? Something that I genuinely love. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are not doing that. I think how I was able to separate what I loved in my life and what I love doing versus what I'm passionate and willing to take action was really the word action. I love social media, and one thing that was different from my love for social media than any other love in my life was that I was willing to take action to social media, which was starting that YouTube channel. And one thing that I learned, and it was passed down actually from my dad, was passion is something you take action to. And once you see yourself doing that, you can really say like, wow, I am passionate about this. And this is something that I can see me doing lifelong.
And I think a lot of people get caught up in the lack of action, and they can't really confirm that this is exactly what they should be doing because they haven't done anything yet.
Exactly.
That's an important distinction.
Yeah, I'm telling you, action is what differentiates the two. It really helps make passion tangible.
Right. In building your 500,000 person community, were there any points of increase or decrease in viewership that you were concerned about, and how did you navigate that space to appease these people correctly?
Yeah, so I'll speak to like growth, like overall, right?
Okay.
So I remember when I first started out on YouTube, like everybody starts at zero, right?
Exactly.
I remember when I first started, and like I shared earlier, there were people already on this space, already on the platform, and there was a lot of people who was already successful. So when I first joined, I thought that like this was the algorithm. This is what I had to follow in order to be successful. So I found myself creating content that I did not like, and that reflected in my subscriber growth. I wasn't going anywhere.
What kind of content?
Oh my god, it was so corny. It was corny stuff. It was like, oh my god, like look at my shirt. Oh my god, like I wasn't showing me, and my audience could tell that. They could see I wasn't being genuine, and I wasn't going anywhere. My channel was doing nothing. Once I realized that, and I really have to ask myself, like, Morgan, like, what are you doing? Well, you are creative. You need to show that. People want to see that. They want to see that personality too. Show that. And the content you're doing right now is not doing that very well. And obviously, because you ain't growing nowhere.
Right.
So once I hit that point, that was a milestone for me. Okay, I probably like when I was doing that kind of like this was popular and trendy type content. I mean, I was doing well, maybe like 5,000 subscribers.
Okay,
that's well. So once I hit this point, like this turning point, and started creating content that really was me, like genuine to me, oh my god, my subscribers shot up. Most popular video, I want to say, I did like a what girls do when they're home alone type video, and this was one I was just being completely goofy, but completely myself. And this is things that I actually like found myself doing. I was in my room thinking, I was like, wow, this would make a good video, because I'm sure there's many girls who can relate to this. That video, I believe, is my most watched video, and I think it's definitely over 6 million. It could be way over 6 million right now, but for sure, last time I checked it, it was over 6 million. That was like 2 years ago when I did that video. So again, that just speaks to creating things that was genuine to me, and I was able to resonate with the audience who enjoyed that part of me. And it's just like, I mean, I started growing like crazy. I hit 100,000 subscribers my sophomore year, fall semester.
Okay.
So almost 100,000, a little bit over 100,000 in almost a year. Now, I haven't graduated yet. I'm in my fall semester of senior year. I'm at over 500,000.
In the land of the internet, there are a billion content creators. I know you got in an early time, but what do you think you did that was so drastically different that allowed for you to grow versus what everyone else is doing?
Yeah, I think that my secret was being genuinely me. And that may sound a little cliche. But no.
It's important in 2017 though.
It's very, very important, because it's only one you, right? Nobody can like repeat a you. And that was something, like I mentioned, I'm glad I was able to recognize, because that played a major part in my success. Is one, being a black girl in this space. There's not many of us. Being a black girl who's not well represented here, a black girl who is not afraid to express herself, a black girl who's creative, a black girl who's over the top. I had to tell myself that like this is a space for you, and like you belong here, like type thing. And once I like accepted the fact that even though there's not a lot of people on this space who's like me, there's not a lot of people in this world who's like you. And once I was able to really like take that in and figure out like what that meant to me, and even my success, So yeah, I would definitely say accepting me for me and not being afraid to show that girl.
Right.
Because there's people out there who appreciates that girl.
The black girl.
That black girl, that crazy, even loud, over the top, dramatic black girl.
Nice.
People want to see her. And I was like, all right, she's here now.
Right.
And she's here to stay.
You are signed to a network. What network are you signed to?
Yes, so I am with Studio 71.
Studio 71. So how was that relationship established?
Yeah. Very selective in their process. And typically networks will reach out to you, or you can even apply. You have to reach like a certain level of subscribers or maybe view count, or even just seeing potential in your channels.
Within a network, how does compensation look working for a network or being signed to a network?
Different ways of compensation is one, you have like your ads. So those are things that you try to skip through when you're watching a YouTube video. We get paid from that, hello. So you have those. Your, the rate, how much you get paid from that video can increase by how many views you get.
Right.
So obviously if you got 1 million views and you got 4 ads on the video, you are making money.
Right.
Okay? Another way that you can get paid from your network could be doing sponsorships. So this is where brands, big powerhouses will contact a network and they can say, look, we have this budget, this is our campaign we're trying to do, who do you have? And when you're signed to a network, especially when you have a good relationship with that manager, they can say, haha, I have this creator, I have ItsHeyMorgan, this is her channel. They're selling you to these people. This type of content she can make, this is who she is, I think she'll fit perfectly. And then those brands will review you and say, I will love her, bring her on. And then obviously there's some in-between stuff, contracts, again, that you have to go through. But yeah, so that's when you hear people say, oh, this video is sponsored by, boom. So those are sponsored videos. We also have brand deals. Sometimes those can not just be one video thing, like a sponsorship. They can be an extended amount of time. I've had brand deals that went on for about 4 months where I've been working with a company, which is really nice because you get to build those long-term relationships with those companies. But you also have brand deals where you can actually one time I worked with Garnier Fructis, I almost forgot. And that was a really big brand deal where I actually had to come out to New York and do on-set shoot. So it's different ways of compensation.
Do you have any other tips or means of advice that you'd like to offer to people that want to follow in your footsteps?
Absolutely. Just do it. Literally, when you think about it too much, you scare yourself. Because it is scary. Scary to be different and do things that are different and unconventional. But the one thing that kept me pushing was go for it. Don't question it, don't think about it. Just do it.
I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Oh my God, thank you so much. 22 with no clue.
Thank you.
This is great.
He's speaking life in a simile, simply sampling life through the windows of opportunity, knocking like come and play. A beautiful day outside of that box that you living in, shadow box with the locks with this proctor. I stand